George Rose, mate, fight week. Is this the biggest fight card you guys have put on?
Absolutely. Errol Spence is an absolute star of boxing, and Tszyu has been the star of Australian boxing for a very long time. So have them two headlining a card like that. You've got Liam Wilson, Stephen Fulton, world title eliminator. I'm really excited for this card, and the matchups that we've been able to put together for this one, I cannot wait for Sunday.
Obviously, Jamal Charlo's absence. Can you give us a bit of an insight into, the conversations you guys had to try and get that fight over the line, and how it all played out, George?
I won't say who exactly we spoke to, but we went as high as we could possibly go to try and do the best to get that approved. But it was just something that in the end that we couldn't get done, and his visa was declined, and unfortunately for Cohen, that was potentially a life-changing opportunity for him. I think that Cohen, while he walks into that fight as an underdog, a win against Jermall Charlo changes his life. So really disappointed that one couldn't go ahead, but Cohen will be back. Cohen will be back putting on a show like he always does.
Mate, a major talking point, this fight build-up, Anthony Mundine and Jeff Fennick, a little feud going back and forth. Did you see those comments and any sort of response to that sort of saga going on there?
Nah, look, that one's for them. I'll stay on the sidelines for that. I am a promoter. I do love drama. I do love big fight drama. But my respect to both of them. Jeff, as a fighter, one of our greatest fighters out of Australia, without a doubt, and Anthony Mundine, the pay-per-view king. The guy who invigorated boxing for that whole era and had us all watching. So both of them absolute legends of Australian boxing and Australian sport. And I'll sit on the sideline and let them play out what they're doing.
What did you make of Errol Spence and Tszyu, their first face-off here tonight?
That was intense. To be honest, fucking intense. To be standing there and witnessing both of them, the confidence that was oozing out of both of them, the aura that was oozing out of both of them, like Tszyu is undefeated in Australia. There's a reason that he walks like that in Australia. He hasn't been beat here. He's been the star of Australian boxing for a very long time. And Errol Spence Jr., prior to the Crawford loss, is a top 5 pound-for-pound fighter. He held 3 belts, no wonder he walks with that confidence. I don't believe that he was right for that Crawford fight, but the guy that he was leading up to that, absolute pound-for-pound beast. So both of them walk with that aura for a reason, and there was serious intensity in that face-off. So it excites me knowing that what's coming on Sunday is going to be a hell of a fight.
How confident are you that Tszyu wins this fight? And, how do you see it?
Yeah, look, I believe in Tim, and I always have. I know this is the toughest fight, the toughest opponent that he's ever faced. Errol Spence Jr. is a future Hall of Famer. He's an absolute beast. But Tszyu, I think this is going to suit him. Fighting at 160, I think it's actually going to suit him a lot more than it'll suit Errol. So don't get me wrong, he's going to have to work for it. He is going to have to work for it and really fight a very smart fight to get the win. But I believe that Tim is going to beat Errol Spence on Sunday.
Should the loser of this fight retire?
I think it's up to the fighter. At the end of the day, people say that a lot in fighting, it's a fucking tough sport. Like, you take a loss and everybody turns on you. Everybody says that you're done, that you're cooked, that you need to retire. But any other sport, you take a loss, you turn around in 7 days and suddenly everything changes again. So, it's hard. Like, boxing's a very hard sport. The fact that there is so long between fights, the fact that a loss has so much impact on you and how people perceive you, I don't think it necessarily changes a person. It's how you recover from that mentally, because physically you were the same person you were before that fight. If you were a beast before that fight, you're still a beast. So that's the thing that I think with Errol. Yes, he's had time off. He was a beast before that fight, before that last fight. So I still see him as a pound-for-pound guy, and for Tszyu to beat him, fighting at 160 benefits him, but Tszyu will have to be the best version that we'll ever see of Tszyu, and I think that's what we do have. I think that he's very strong right now. I think that he's very confident, and the strength and confidence, I think, are two big things that are going to help him get this win.
I saw Tszyu's wife say that there was a call made about, Tim wanted to retire before the last fight. Did you hear those comments at the time? Did you respond to them at all? And how does that sort of sit with you now?
Look, for me, I do whatever I can to help a fighter achieve their dream. So if they want to fight for a world title, I'll do everything to get them a world title, get them that opportunity. If they want to fight for the biggest money they can get, I'll get them that opportunity to fight for the biggest money they can get. What they do in their training camp and their preparation and everything, I stay clear of that because that's not my specialty. My specialty is promoting the fight and making them the biggest opportunity or the most money they can get, and that's what I focus on. So whatever they've got to do to get in the ring, that's up to the fighter. And if the fighter comes to me and says, I'm done, I respect that and I understand that. If the fighter comes to me and says, I want to fight Errol Spence Jr., I'll say, fuck it, I'm going to get Errol Spence Jr. for it.
Nikita Tszyu Ben Mani announced today as well. Big news on that as well.
What do you think of that fight?
Great fight. Great fight. Where's the location, George?
You get the exclusive after we announce it. No. I think it's a really good fight. I think it's rare that you're in a situation where you've got two great young fighters so highly ranked. So the fact that they're both top 10 fighters is really cool. That we can put two of the best Australian talents in the ring against each other and fight for the opportunity in a world title eliminator. So would have been even better if it was for a world title, but maybe that's something that can happen in the future. But the fact that they're fighting each other for a world title eliminator, really cool.
Yeah. Benny Mani based on the Gold Coast, Nikita here in Sydney. Those two sort of front runners, or how's that sort of?
Well, I mean, there's a few places that we haven't been yet. We've been to a lot of places. We've put on a lot of good shows this year, but Gold Coast we haven't been to. There's other locations that we haven't been to, so I do love them destinations. I know you love the Gold Coast. I know that you love working on the Gold Coast, where you sit by the pool for a week and pretend to do interviews. You love that. So yeah, Ash loves it. Yeah, the jet skis. Yeah, well that's jets. She's doing the jet skis. So jet skis,
steaks,
life, steaks or snakes.
Steaks.
Look, it is a good time up there, and I think when you go there in the winter, it's even better. So we want to keep putting on great shows around the country. The fact that we're putting on a great show here in Sydney, I'm excited for, and I do want to move to a different location for our next fight.
Well said, George. Appreciate it, man.
Appreciate you.